Well, good evening everybody. We are on a bit early, but we're here for more matches in the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships 2021. We're here on Virtual Pool 4 Online, and there's a match that's going on right now, one that wasn't on the bracket, and it's actually in the lead up to the matches that we are scheduled to be doing. If we look at the chat in the lobby where I've actually posted it, we've got a one-loss side match coming up at the top of the hour, so we're about 25 minutes away from that, and that's a match between SD92 and Albinario. Albinario having arrived on that one-loss side after that match with Mal, and then an hour later on the winner's side we have HAZAD against Larry, and that's going to be the race to 19. So all the one-loss side matches race to 13. These are the matches that are due on Saturday, and we'll talk about them at a later date, but there are some changes on the bracket. We're going to go in and have a look at some of this match. I don't know, I think it started about 35 minutes ago, so it should be well on into the match, but we need to look at the bracket first to catch up. Good evening to HAZAD. Welcome. There's quite a few things been happening by the look of it. If we look at the one-loss side, we have the match between Bankster and Shooters Pool Pro at the moment. We've got Sky, Bitter and Swiley, and that's tomorrow at 5, is that 5:01 or something? And then we have Mooncake against Tornado Tam, which is tomorrow as well at 7 PM. And we have Linus and Tommy U tomorrow at 8 PM. So we've got matches that we're going to have to cover tomorrow. We've got another one in a couple of days' time between Mongoose and Mr. Strokum. These are all one-loss side matches, so there's been a couple of updates. We've got that match there, as I said, coming up at the top of the hour between SD92 and Albinario. And then up this side, on the winner's side, we've got the Spectre Dawn Hairpig match, which is on Sunday at 8 PM British Summertime. I don't think this has actually changed much at all. The Bedhead match with LS3, 7 PM on Saturday night. And then this is the one that we're focusing on at 8 o'clock tonight, and I think that is about it. Oh, and of course the other one is we've got Bill and Mal on Saturday as well at 6 PM. So those are the matches that are all set in the schedule. We had one forfeit last night. We were supposed to be doing 3 matches yesterday, but we had one forfeit, and that was Howie Wowie against Mooncake, which is how Mooncake is now through to play Tornado Tam. Howie Wowie couldn't make it for reasons known to himself, and apart from that, that is about us. So we'll have a drop in and we'll have a look at Bankster and Shooters Pool Pro race to 13. Well, we can see that Bankster is has knocked out the starting blocks. Basically, he's got 1 rack in the board. Shooters Pool Pro's 8-1 up. So Shooters Pool Pro looking good to go through to the next round. And Bankster needs an almighty turnaround, especially when you look at the rating. Bankster's 200 points ahead of Shooters Pool Pro. Although that doesn't always say for anything, but trying to read between the lines here, it's a bit like just saying Bankster's having a bad day. So it's a tough ask for Bankster. Can Shooters Pool Pro get that bit closer? I think that 4 ball is pretty tight. Yep, he's going to have to cheat that a fair bit and just miss the 9 for this to go in. Unless he's playing the combo. Looks as if he's lining a combo. Oh, well, it's done everything but go in. And now the problems start because Bankster can barely see that 4 ball. And if I was him, I wouldn't be doing much to send that 4 ball towards the 9 because it's not going to go past the 6, but I'd be hoping to get it somewhere away from a possible combo. And that's not going to help his cause, I don't think. The only thing that might save him is the fact that that 6 ball is awkward, just where it's sitting. Good evening, Bedhead. Well, I think maybe this Shooters Pool Pro is somebody else under a different name. And with this profile, obviously they've been playing in this tournament, so they haven't had an awful lot of opportunities to build up a rating in the game overall. So that 18-15 is probably not their tournament rating. It's probably just an overall rating that's been given to them. I don't know how it works, but anyway. But it's now 9-1. And it's a dry break. Plenty of room to hide this cue ball this time for Bankster. And that's a good shot. The only thing I worry about is whether he's going to be anywhere near capable of potting any of these balls. Good evening, Bill. Good afternoon, Bill. Or good late morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. So we'll watch this match. I mean, this match may well be over by the time we get to the top of the hour. It certainly won't be far off it, the way things are panning out. So the only thing we need to check. I noticed SD92 was in the lobby earlier on. I don't know whether they're still there. Of course, Albinario, as always, should just turn up at the last minute. Well, here's the strangest thing. This is an update in the computer. The computer has genuinely had problems. You know, I'm not making it up. It's been just rebooting randomly and has been for quite some time now. And I've tried all sorts of weird things that might be conflicting. Again, bearing in mind that the only error that ever showed in the event log or the event viewer was kernel 4041, which again is just a generalized error which is supposed to be to do with power. Now, I've tried all sorts. I've got rid of one program. I've got another antivirus installed. I've updated my BIOS, and the PC has been on for periods of time where it's been 2 days. The last one was 3 days. This one's 2 days again. And during this 2 days, I've ran it all night in the VP4 lobby when I went to bed. I've come up in the morning and VP4's still running, so I've not had a restart then. I've not had a restart also since I updated the BIOS, and I've had weird restarts where you reboot the computer just to do a restart, and then after that, very shortly after it, the PC does a restart on its own. I've had none of those. I've had restarts while I was in practicing in VP4 up until now. Nothing like that's happened. I have ran Red Dead Redemption today as well as yesterday, doing some of the missions after the story has actually finished. I had a huge update for Microsoft Flight Simulator at 22 gig this morning, on top of the other updates I had to do. Yeah, oh, I've done all of that. Oh, believe me, I've not had, at any time I've never had a blue screen of death. I've just had, you know, sitting watching the PC, and the next thing you know, or you know, I'm doing something, I could be just browsing the internet, and boom, it just restarts. And no blue screen of death. What was I saying there? I've lost my train of thought now reading that chat. But I've done all the things about. If you actually Google it, there's loads of things about Windows 10 and PCs restarting and all sorts of crap, changing things in the registry to try and fix it, and all sorts. But to cut a long story short, I've done. This is once I've done the update on the BIOS, because that's the BIOS screen's a screen you're never into. But this. That's going to follow in, and that's a proper numpty shot that there by Bankster. There's no forgiving for that. But once I done that, that was the first time that I actually did a restart on the PC, and then messed about with the PC after I did the restart, and I've never had one of these auto restarts since then. And that's now 2 days it's been going, and the PC's never been off, other than the couple of restarts I've done to test it. And I know that the BIOS has been updated, because the loading screen on my PC when it first boots up, instead of being a big logo on it, that's changed, so it's updated something in the you know, and I don't know what the hell it does, to be honest. I'm just waffling on. But to cut a long story short, I have had no problems, touch wood. And if you're going to have a problem, it's when you're running the game and eating into the graphic card. And Red Dead's been running beautifully, Flight Sim was running beautifully, no problems, and I just cannot explain it. I don't know what the hell it is, but whatever it is, nothing's happening at the moment, which is good. And plus the fact you guys have been witnesses as well. I've done those 2 4-hour streams the other day as well, and then I had 2 separate streams last night, and I've never had a failure on the stream yet, which again is just strange. And I bet you guys are thinking I'm making it up, but I had about 5 or 6 reboots one afternoon. And that sent me loopy, trying to work out what the cause was. But and that's the first time that the BIOS has ever been updated in this PC, because I've got a program on board that allows you to check for driver updates. It comes with the PC. It's an ASUS piece of software, and it's got a bit on it for checking the BIOS update to their website and stuff like that. And so that got done, and everything's going great at the moment. Welcome everybody. This is well, it might be a coincidence, I don't know, but I don't care what it is, it's working, which is just the strangest thing of all. So we're on the air early. Well, who's these strange names? Minty, there's another new one. That's no Pola Minty, is it? No, he wouldn't be that clever enough to make a name like that up. Good evening to Popman. Well, I haven't a clue, because I've joined this late. It was already 9-1 or 9-0 when I joined, and it's looking pretty dire for his prospects. And it will be the case that I wonder if right, I need to get rid of that bloody webcam. Hang on a sec. We need to have a quick look in the lobby, and we don't need to worry about Albinario unless he's fallen ill, because that's the one that's important. SD92 is here, so he or she, well, we'll always address them as he unless we're told otherwise. So he's already here, and Albinario will arrive almost at the top of the hour. So Bankster, is at the point of no return. I'm just having a slash there to billiard the 8 ball in. Well, who is Shooters Pool Pro? You tell me. Because I haven't a Scooby. Get comfortable. There's been an addition to the top 10 on the Racks run list last night. I checked that out today. We'll have a quick look at that. We'll have a quick look at that just now. We'll go to the stats page and we'll see who the new entry is on the top 10. Where the hell are we? That's the one we should be on. And the new entry is now who the hell was it again? Was it Mongoose that came up to 9? I think it was Mongoose that came up to 9 after his match last night. Because he was off the, I don't think he was anywhere near the leaderboard at the time, but he's had a good match last night and that's got him on the board. Cobra's still way out in front by 5 racks. Tommy Yu, well, Tommy Yu's been done by the fact that he's been advanced a match. So, you know, everything evened out in the long run. Larry, of course, on 12, and Larry's going to have a good match to catch Cobra at the top of the leaderboard. Albinario is going to have a good match to threaten the top. So there's opportunities tonight for 2 of the players to improve their position. So it's now 12-2. So it's really just basically trying to make the scoreboard look a wee bit healthier, but I don't think Bankster's going to get any more chances, provided Shooters Pool Pro can get over to this 6. Now, did we come up with an answer as to who Shooters Pool Pro was? No, it's definitely not Yama. Nowhere near in the class of Yama. And Shooters Pool Pro, he's not even finished, but he wants to play his next match with Simanx. Yeah, he's keen. That's not going to go, is it? Oh, it's just gone. So this match is over, and that will give us a few minutes just to, again, remind some of you guys, because obviously not everybody was here when I started. So, Shooters Pool Pro has gone through. We can go back to the tournament and go to the bracket, get that update thing to 30 seconds, and I presume then it is Simanx and Shooters Pool Pro that's going to go ahead next. Like I say, Tommy, you got advanced last night, or who the hell was it? Maybe I'm mixing myself up. No, it was Mooncake, right? So forget what I was saying. Was it Mooncake? I'm so confused with these names. Popman's to play Danny. That's tomorrow night. Mooncake Tornado Tam at 7 o'clock. That's tomorrow night. Linus and Tommy Yu at 8 o'clock. So there's 2 matches. That's a couple of days' time. Mongoose and Strocum. And that is starting in about 5 minutes. And Sunday night for Spectrodon and Hairpig. Bedhead LS3 is Saturday at 7 PM. And tonight we also have then, of course, at 8 PM, HAZAD and Larry. and then on Saturday at 6 PM, so that's an hour before that match, LS3 in Bedhead, we have Mr. Bill and Mal. So there's some good matches at the weekend, and then I'm back to work on Monday. What's Mr. Fox moaning about now? What's this about? Because I've missed that. I won't be playing our match shooters. I can't do it out of principle. You make a mockery of the game and the tournament and clearly breaking code of conduct. Why do you do it? So obviously, Mr. Fox has got an idea who it might be. He's not letting the cat out of the bag though. Good evening, Mark. I haven't caught some of the names there. Larry's there. Witt's there. Potman's there. I'll hand this little shit show over to Steve and we'll see what he decides. Steve will not get involved in any of that. What's Wiley going on about? What do these two people know that that none of us know? And more to the point, who's still asleep in that room? Anyway, we'll let them argue their case. Are we suggesting that is this somebody that's in the tournament twice? Is this what we're suggesting, or Simon, you're a mod. You go and find out for Mr. Fox what's going on here. You're the inside man. And wish Shagga a happy birthday as well while you're at it. So anyway, this is taking our mind off what's coming up next. We have, if I can scroll up and find the thing because I can't be bothered looking. Have I seen SD92 in this tournament yet? Because I don't remember. So I'm just guessing that Albinario is going to be strong favourite in this race to 13. We were talking in the room and he was just saying he had played other pool sims, usually played billiards and snooker. Oh, I see. Simon's only gate crashed the match to actually drag you into Skype. Is that his idea? There's more to it than that when Mr. Fox is moaning in the lobby. Whatever he's on about, we'll never know. Who is it that's sleeping in that room? That shows you how exciting the match was when they've gone in there and fallen asleep. So what's the time? We're about 3 minutes away, and well, we've got the main match tonight with the greatest of respect to SD92 and Albinario. The main match tonight is HAZAD against Larry, and I think the main word would be consistency from both players. It's the usual story. I think that without doubt Larry will be the favourite. I think the longer that HAZAD can stay with him, the better his chances. And then things, if they begin to get tight, it could then end up being anybody's. And of course, also there's those other factors that come into play: how the break's working, who does the most silly shots, who makes the most mistakes. But favourite will be Larry, no doubt about that. Now, who are we talking about now? This Shooters Pool Pro guy. Well, that is, I agree with what you're saying there, Cobra. That's the best way to deal with people you maybe have some sort of doubt about or whatever. Certainly not the way that what's his face dealt with this. Was it Shooters Pool Pro that he did the same thing? Was it him that just backed out and quit? Who the hell was that earlier on in the tournament? I've forgotten who that was as well. Somebody can remind me who that was that just quit during the match. Oh, aye, Biggs it was. Aye, Biggs. You're right enough. Well, if you're hearing that there's problems with this guy, then you know, do these people not know how to report them? Because that reports a chat log, and you'll see any abuse that's coming up with this guy, if there is any. Yeah, that was the thing. Well, I suppose, I mean, let's be honest, if you're ever going to shark somebody, and Larry will tell you that, that's probably the best way to have done it. So I give him credit for that. I mean, if you can get inside somebody's head as well as he did against Biggs, then I think you deserve 10 out of 10 for that, because that's all he mentioned. He mentioned it was Yama, and Biggs blew his top and left. So it worked. And that's exactly why he mentioned it. Yep. Everybody was guessing it was Yama. So the room is now up. I do not see Albinario yet, so I'm not going to jump in. Oh, maybe, mind you, I've scrolled up. He could have arrived. Hang on. Oh, there he is. I can see the name there. So Albinario's already in. SD92 was in the lobby. I never checked there to see if they still were. So this is our first match of the night, and well, both players are here, which is good, and that'll be Albinario on the far side, I assume, because his queue's showing, and SD92 might not have a queue. And once again, just putting 2 and 2 together, looking at the rating here, then you would think the SD92 again doesn't play a lot of tournaments, and may well not play a lot of 9-ball either. No, it's not semi-pro. There's a 1-9 to start for Albinario. Well, there's a gift and a plate. Couple of balls in the break, 3 balls in the break, 1 ball is on, and well, the only saving grace is the 2 doesn't go. No, it's definitely not him. Well, I don't think there's enough room there either to play the billiard on the 9. It looks very thin. He might get away with it. It looks very, very thin. And he has got it. So, Albinario couldn't ask for a better start. 2-0. And, well, we're barely 3 minutes old here, this match. And another ball in the break. And this time, well, he can go all out for the thin cut, and he may well do it anyway. Let the cue ball run. And the difficulty here is getting a decent safety, because now he's got no real route of escape with the cue ball. He's blocked off by the 9, and the 5 and the 6, 5 and the 7 and the 6 here are an issue. He's went all out for the pot, but again, that was just to stay in control, because he's going to be struggling. Can he get enough of this 3 ball? Again, it looks very tight. Well, don't forget, well, there's a scratch. Don't forget, Semi-Pro is, he might be, we talked about Semi-Pro in a laptop. Well, he's getting a new PC, is he not? So he's going to have 2. So if you really want to accuse him of being guilty, then he'll have 2 ways of getting into VP4. If you want to be that paranoid. Oh, well, SD92, you cannot do that, I'm afraid, with ball in hand. That's a fatal cardinal sin by anybody with ball in hand. You cannot miss the first ball. It's unforgivable. And of course now with this shot, he can brush off the 9 and just hold for the 7. And that was excellently played. Is that going to make it? I don't think it is. Well, here's a gift for SD92. Well, a gift of a start, but will they be able to run the table? That's not going to get the job done. Well, I don't know why Simax is PMing me. It should know by now. It doesn't happen. You can come into the stream and ask. I'm certainly not opening the PM. It's another person who doesn't pay attention. And no sooner have I said that than SD isn't paying attention. Only 3 balls to pot there, and again has failed. And it is going to be a short run this for Albinario, I reckon, tonight. There's not an awful lot here to suggest that he's going to be threatened a great deal. Well, Simon Lacey, who is Simax, there's a 9 ball hanging over the pocket as well. He may well join the stream to ask his question. Or he can ask somebody else in the lobby, but as I say, I'm not opening them. So Albinario going for the run out. Good evening, Sir Gresh. Good evening, Mooncake. Who started the rumours? All right, aye. Well, the main goal here for Albinario now would be to see if he can get himself up that Rax Ran board. So it's going to be 4-0. And 4-0 inside 10 minutes. Inside 7 minutes, as a matter of fact. Well, this rack is dry. Oh dear, that's a bit early to start the yawning. Well, there's the open invitation for Albinario. And if Albi can get the cue ball out into the table round about here, somewhere, he'll be able to play the 2 after he banks the 1. So again, not a clever push out by SD92. That's another thing I keep going on about. If you're going to play a push out, you have to think about what you're doing, and that was not the cleverest of push outs. Well, that just makes it a wee bit more fiddly. But again, that 4's off the rail, so it really shouldn't be a problem. The only problem is just controlling the cue ball. And that's a good pace. That's going to bounce nice for the 5. Perfect. And a nice little angle to get up that table. Oh, watch that pocket. Well, that's a good enough angle to get back down and over to the right for the 7. Well, push outs are all about trying to leave a shot where you're not necessarily just going to get handed it back. And certainly not about leaving a relatively easy bank. You know, if you're going to leave the cue ball on the opposite side of the table from the object ball, then you have to leave it at an angle or a set where the actual bank isn't set, where you're forcing the other player to take the risk of lining up the bank. Now that one was pretty much a dead set bank. Or you're obviously trying to nudge, you know, send the cue ball somewhere where the object ball is partially obscured. But again, you may well be put back in, but as long as you've got an easy option for a safety off it. Yes, it is difficult, but you've got to make more common sense choices than what SD92 did just there, because it's cost them the rack, and it's 5-0. And SD92 this time has gone full ball snooker. Easy kick for Albinario. Albinario's gone full snooker, and SD92 decided just to have a go, when in that case it might have been better to put him back in, because SD92's given Albi a start, albeit the 2 ball needs a little nudge, and I think he's hooked himself though. And of course, the big danger here is if Albi doesn't hit the 2, because it's a 2-9 combo, which isn't easy either. But if he doesn't get any movement here, it could be an invitation for the combo, which SD92 should take. So this to get on the board. And again, that was not a difficult combo if you get the 2 lined up to that edge. And Albinario could have SD92 in trouble again. He's either going to tuck the 2 behind a cluster or tuck the cue ball behind a cluster, one of the 2. Well, I think we would all be agreed that if Cobra's saying it depends on who you're playing, well, if you're playing Albinario, you don't play the push out to the position that SD92 played it, leaving a dead cert bank for Albinario. And Albinario, no messing about. The little combo at 6-0. And I'm wondering whether this match is going to see out its duration here. Is SD92 going to get a rack? Probably that was their best chance there with that combo with the 2 and 9, and that might be it. So we're having a bang. The 4 ball gets kicked in, the 2 ball safe in the top rail. But again, this is so difficult to get safe. Just trying to play for the double kiss. And Albinario again will go for the cut. And this is tough though. Look at this 3-ball. Well, it's off the rail, which makes it a much easier shot if you can get somewhere near it. That might be too hard. Yeah, it's just too much juice in it. Well, I don't see Simon Lacey in the stream, so I don't know whether he was maybe asking for the link or whatever, but certainly not appeared. I've not seen anything. Well, again, SD92 should be looking to get this reasonably safe here. And the fatal mistake is banking the 5 and then doing his best to open up the 7 and the 8 and the 9 there. Again, that was a silly shot. Good evening to Keith. This is the first of our matches tonight. In 45 minutes time, we have HAZAD against Larry in the winner's side, race to 19. And of course, Albinario will have no worries at the moment with the 7 and the 8 sitting as they are, but I think that 7 goes into the middle. Yes, it does. And the mistake has come. And Albinario, he might cut that along the rail, he might reverse bank it. But he's going to have to be very clever to try and hold the cue ball, and he has done. That's excellent. So it's just a procession here for Albinario. But how tough it was for Albinario to end up over here after that, well, being partially mauled by Mal in that encounter a few days ago. Albinario still suffering the bruises of it, but you wouldn't know that now that he's up 7-0. And the cue ball threatened to go there. Cobra's playing at the weekend. I need to remind myself, hang on a minute, I don't think I can paste when I've got this thing up on the screen. No, I can't. It doesn't let me paste. But anyway, I'm sure it's Saturday that Cobra's playing. Or who is it that's playing at the weekend? I'm totally mixed up now. Anyway, Albinario now 8-0 up. Cross bank for the 2. If it doesn't go the first pocket, it might go the second. He's missed it. Right, okay, here Pig, I think that's what Simanx wanted to tell me. Yeah, that's what he would have been wanting to tell me. Well, that's unfortunate because, well, if it's half an hour, that would be like roughly 7:45. That's like 15 minutes before the main event starts, so we won't see much of his match, I'm afraid. See, you know, having matches on the schedule is better for me because that way I can plan what I'm intended to do. Having matches on the schedule 5 minutes after meeting somebody in the lobby is not good for me. It might be good for you guys, but a lot of players prefer to leave it that way rather than actually sending out a proposal. They prefer to sit around hoping that somebody's going to land in the lobby, and then yeah, Mal and Bill, that was the match I was thinking about. But I say, if it's on the bracket, then I've got a rough idea of where I'm going. Meanwhile, Albinario Well, he's looking at an extremely ambitious 2-9 combo here. And Albinario's had a go. And if SD92 can get into the table or kill the cue ball, one of the two, and that's neither, but he could have had another go at a 3-9 combo there, and once again, absolutely no thought whatsoever into what they were doing there. And this is what I'm talking about, players who, they just don't have the aptitude to see an obvious shot like that. And it makes me think that, you know, they've never played a game in real life, let alone achieved a great deal of effort in learning anything in VP4 itself. If only they just thought about what they're doing. Again, I keep saying it, they'd be 10 times the better player if they did. No, I think that 8-ball's going to go in. Well, can SD92 take advantage of that? Can they get this cue ball? No, they can't. But at least it's gone partially safe. Albinario might try the billiard here. This is not a bad billiard. They could reverse bank the 6 as well. That looks good to me. Well, we'll have, once Albinario finishes this rack, we'll go back and have a quick look at the bracket just to see what's happening with this Simanx match on the schedule, because we're obviously needing something to kill time till 8 o'clock. So it would be handy if they were starting their match round about now, or the next 5-10 minutes. So Albinario, 9-0. And is this going to be, let's have a quick drink, is this going to be the first whitewash of the tournament if SD92 stays the distance? No, you see, this is a thing we need to find out about players. This is the thing that annoys me. There are players who, I'm pretty certain, don't have notifications for emails like that being forwarded to them. And if they don't have that set in their account, then they're going to be none the wiser. Which is a bit embarrassing for them, that they've not got enough sense to find out why they're not getting notified. Well, maybe the fact that the restrictions have been lifted a bit in England, maybe he's away out and about and not really bothered. But he's not somebody that's here, shall we say, on a regular basis. He does generally sign up for some of these big tournaments, but I've certainly not seen him in recent days. So Albinario progressing on and into double figures. 5 balls tracking. Is it going to hold the line? Yes, it has. It's a 1-7 if he's going to continue the visit. You don't need notifications. See, I haven't a clue. I just assumed that well, the assumption then is that if you sign up for an NRT tournament and obviously you've put an email in, because you have to when you're setting up your account, then I presume it's just an automatic notification you get anyway, whether you want them or not. Is that the deal? Because I haven't a clue. I mean, it could be that he's when did Tony Sam showed up? He certainly never showed up for his one loss side match. He lost interest. I think he lost interest after he signed up. Well, you can do that, but like I say, how many players know to do that? The other thing is a possibility that his email client thing is actually bunging everything into the spam folder, and he's none the wiser that way as well. See, Tony Sams comes in and he's totally bewildered as to whether he's probably still wondering why he's not been notified about his next match, and he probably doesn't even realise he's been forfeited. That's the sort of, you know, bewildered way he wanders around when he signs up for these tournaments. You actually have to hold his hand to make sure he's going to play in the damn thing. I mean, I get a hold of him on Facebook the other day there when his match was about to start, or it was about to time out. He finally replied to me after it had timed out, and he said, "Oh, I forgot all about it." You know, so that's his own good fortune. But anyway, back to the matter in hand. For those that are in the tournament, Albinario is just doing what's expected of him. In all honesty, I mean, it's all you can do. Just make sure you make a good job of it, get it done quick, and get out of there. And he should be on the brink after this one. So, in fact, I'm not sure whether this is the final night of the qualifications for the World Championships, but there's been matches on all day again today for the World Snooker. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will be up bright and early Saturday morning, and I'll be sat down for most of the day. I'll kill most of my time on Saturday by watching the snooker. And the snooker will probably... Is it Saturday that Prince Philip gets buried? That'll probably mess up the bloody snooker coverage, now that I've thought about it. Well, Albinario is just a couple of minutes away from the next round. He's come up dry. SD92 is a forlorn hope, and just looking to get out of here fairly quickly as well, I would imagine. I don't think that's got the legs. Oh, it has done. Just got the legs. Well, Albinario can use the 8 ball as a stopper and run down to the 9 and the 7 here and put SD in trouble. I don't think he's the notion to do that. He's going to hit this hard and try and knock the 8 in, I think. Looks as if that's what he's trying to do. Yep, he's trying to get the 8 in. And he's going to finish on the 2. That's a good shot. He's going all out to get it done. Well, it looks like a straight draw up the table because he can't run towards the 7 or the 9, but the 7 is the one that's going to be the one that could give trouble. But if he can get square on this 6, and he's pretty much almost got there, then all he needs to do is just drop through to here and make sure he's got enough of that 7 to pot it, and he certainly will do if he finishes near enough the donut. Or is he? What, he looks as if he's digging down here to do something. He's trying to come over the other side. Has he gone far enough? I think he's just there. That was excellent. Yep. So it's been a procession for Albinario, so it's interesting to see how far up this top 10 he's got, but it's been a whitewash for Albinario, and he won't get them any easier than that. But SD92 now knows what level you have to get yourself at, and there's a lot of room for improvement. But then again, we never really got to see much. It was all Albinario. So quick jump into the bracket, quick jump into the main page, and then a jump into the stats to see if Albinario has improved his position. 9-ball stats, racks run, I would think he has done. And there we go, Albinario has shot up that board, and he's now hanging on to second place outright by 3 racks. Cobra still out in front, and now tonight Larry has the chance to go top, but to go top he's going to have to be consistent, and he's got 6 racks to catch Cobra, obviously 4 to catch Albinario, but a chance of taking the outright lead again. So that's the one thing to look forward to. Meanwhile, back at the bracket, we'll have a look and see if this match we're talking about, the one that Simanx was probably trying to PM me about, well, it's about to, what time's that? That's not going to start until 7:45. So I reckon what I'll do then, rather than killing the stream, let's have a look about and see what's going on here. Well, Larry's in practicing, so we can't go in and watch that. Well, there's a tournament on. Let's go in and watch that. What the hell are we playing here? 8-ball world rules. Race to 4. That was a good shot by LS3 against a guy called Columbus. And let's see where he's from. From Turkey. LS3 from the UK. And Stubb has woke up, and LS3 has won the match. I don't know whether this was the only match, I haven't a clue, but it's going to be a whitewash. The second of the night. We've had one from Albinario, I'll say that again, one from Albinario, and LS3 has gone through by 4 racks to 0 against Columbus. Very well done. Did you see that top 10 leaderboard, Stubb, on the racks ran? You've got a lot of work to do. Right, wait a minute, what's this that's going up? We'll get 8-ball. Oh no, wait a minute, that's the next match with LS3 and Mr. Strocum. Let's have a look at that bracket for that one. Hang on a minute. And see what's happening here. Well, there we go. That's it's double elimination. So Columbus is now playing Christian, and LS3's playing Mr. Strocum to see who gets to the final. So at least we know where we are now. Hang on a sec, wrong one. Put that back to there. Put that back to the time. So we'll watch this until the other match starts at 2:15, and that'll just kill time until the match. Our second match of the night at 8 o'clock. So looking at the ratings for this match, it's a very even match with Mr. Strocum. And somebody can remind me about the rules in this. It's not, this is world rules. It's a call shot game anyway, isn't it? There's no slop in this. This maybe is a bit straight here. This 15 ball. Yeah. But then again, well, he's only got the 15 and the 13 to pot. Sorry, there's a 9 as well. So if we can get through. See, I don't think he's going to get a better chance to pot that 15. Says he's still got an angle to get it. Yeah, he can get it. Now the question is whether he can avoid running into the 4 and get somewhere down this side of the table. Well, that bounce might bounce into the 8. Let's avoided the 8. But it has a shot on the 9. Oh well, the miss has come. Now can LS3 take advantage? Problems are immediately obvious. We've got the 6 and 5 sort of partially set as a combo. Just relax, Stub. Everything's under control here. When's Albi Haz start? Well, it's Larry that's playing Haz. Albinario's already played. He's through. He's just beaten SD92 13-0 on the one loss side. We've got another match on the one loss side going to start in about 10 minutes time, and we'll only see the start of it because we're joining the HAZAD Larry match at 8 o'clock, or the top of the hour. 8 o'clock British Summer Time, 3 PM Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Pacific Time. Because again, I'm assuming that the clocks have went forward in the States by now. Meanwhile, Mr. Strocum has, not Mr. Strocum, LS3 has a tough one straight in to try and hold for this 6. Now let's look at this 6, because I think that's nailed, or it's pretty near, damn it. Yeah, it's not far off it, and that's why it's so difficult to just chip that with the right touch. And look at this though, LS3's got out of jail. That's the sort of luck you need. And Mr. Strocum has played the kick. Now he obviously didn't call a pocket there. If that had gone in, it would have been a missed call. So this looks fairly simple enough, just to drop to the side rail for a roll in the 8. And the first rack in this race to 4 to see who gets to the final in this double elimination 8-ball World Rules tournament. A tournament that's sponsored by Inside Pool magazine. Now that looks totally ugly on a blue cloth, that's all I'm going to say about it. And the break, the table is open even though a ball's gone in, and the table would still be open if 2 different balls had gone in, whether it would have been a solid or a stripe. So LS3's committed to the stripes, and well, there is a problem that can be dealt with here immediately. Maybe not now that I look at it, but that 13 ball, it looked for a second that it goes past the 5, and clearly it doesn't. So now LS3 is going to have to maybe try and get a little dig here and get a breakout here on these two. Now would be the right time to try it, and that will do extremely nicely indeed. And that's now, well, as far as I can see, dealt with all the problems. The remaining problem is where the 8 ball is, but that's what you have to do. You have to get on to problems and deal with them ASAP if you're going to try and run tables. A little brush, and that's improved the situation once again. The little cannon is all it needed, just a little touch, and now the 8 ball's wide open. And well, if LS3 can get control of this cue ball here, the 10 balls is well exposed for a pot. It's just the angle in the 7 and the 14 is not that great, but it's going to be a long pot on this 10. Now this 8 ball, or I should say the cue ball, if I look at the way the cue ball's going, that cue ball could possibly, maybe with a wee bit of help inside, maybe end up about there for the 8 into the middle. It'd be really fortunate if it went that way and come across for the 8 into that pocket. Well, that's what she's done, and it's sort of neither here nor there. But there obviously is going to be a pocket called. It's the cut into the middle. It's a toughie. Well, this would complete an excellent run out here for LS3, and that is unlucky. It was a good effort. I'll have another drink. So this other one lost side match is about 4 minutes away. Between Simanx and Shooters Pool Pro. And we'll see if Simanx is going to capitulate. As I've said, a lot of the times I've seen Simanx play, there's been an awful lot of banging and not an awful lot of thinking. Especially in the Friday night 9 balls I've seen him in. And I think the reason for the banging was mostly because of the handicapping. Just hoping to bang a ball into a pocket and get an early money ball. He can't do that in this tournament. He's forced into actually trying to do things in pot balls. So LS3 is now in a position where the 8 ball's blocked, and in theory the favourite here would be Mr. Strocum. But the reason, oh, that's a superb shot. Or is it? He played. No, wait a minute. I'm getting my head screwed on the wrong way here. Right, why are we not speeding up the replay? Yeah. I'm trying to think, what was he trying to do there? Because obviously he's on the solids, and he's ended up cutting the 8. Anyway, it's 2-0. Even though I'm confused. But in actual fact, in that situation there, Mr. Strocum was in command. Was it an LS3? Am I out of sync again? Or is it just my head that's out of sync? I think it's because it's getting late. I start to get confused. Aye, she did call it. It was a good shot then. Because I had realised it after the score had gone through. Right, so we're about a minute away from that match that was arranged about half an hour ago. So the lifeline for Mr. Strocum in this rack is the 11 ball being locked in by the 6, the 4 and the 8. And I think she's got herself locked out in the 15. Now, is the 8 ball going to get called here? I think it's too... Yeah, it's further up the table than the 11, so... I don't see her calling the 8, so just looking to keep it tight. And, you know, that is not a bad safety shot when you look at it. I mean, if you look at what's available to Mr. Strocum, you can't make the 8 early. Well, see, I'm confused partially by the rules of this game and partially because I don't know what's going on. But how come from that shot LS3 ended up 2-0 anyway? Because here Pig was saying that she called it. You know, I know that you can't call. I know that you can't. You know, you can't pot the 8 early without playing a legal shot onto it. It was her last ball anyway, wasn't it? She was down to the 8 ball. She had no other options. Aye, that's right enough. I'll see if I can stay awake for the rest of the night now. Anyway, let's have a quick look in on the bracket. Not for the tournament that the tournament room that we're in at the moment, but for the other one. Where's this Manx thing? Well, that room is now up, and let's vacate this one and join this one. Now, what's going on here? Why is my camera not working? Ah, hang on a minute. That's why it probably isn't working. Oh yes, I'm definitely 100% confused. Anyway, what I do know is that this match is the one lost side match in the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships, and it's only going to take us up until the top of the hour because our intention is to move into the winner's side match between Larry and HAZAD, which is going to start at the top of the hour. The next time you go and play a shot like that, could you actually tell me first, because I hadn't a clue what was happening. That shows you how many 8-ball world tournaments I've watched. So Shooters Pool Pro off and running. Let's see. I'm more interested in how Simanx plays when he gets a chance. Is anyone having an issue changing advanced settings on challenge table? It shows 9-ball settings regardless of game type. Well, I think it defaults to 9-ball, does it not? Before you then choose what game you want. Is that? Am I maybe not understanding what you're saying? There's a combo. Probably the one way to fix any issues is just a quick restart of the game. Yeah. Without doing any major surgery. Aye, so I mean, what time on Friday, Stub? Like 3 o'clock in the morning my time? Does that mean I've got to set my bloody alarm to go up to see it? What time did you set it for? And give me Eastern time. I mean, why do you say you set into match up for Friday? What time? What, for Friday night at 7 PM? Tourney time and 3 AM. Oh, now he's confused me even more. I asked him to give me what time he set at his time. What time did you set at your time, and if are you on Eastern Standard Time? That's not going to get there. Silly things like that, they have to be a no-no. Well, this is going to be a long 6-ball. What the hell does that mean? 3 PM, 4 PM and 8 PM. Alright, so you've just sent those were the proposals, right? I've got you now. I'm now fully aware of the situation. Right, so 3 PM Eastern time is 8 PM my time. 4 PM is 9, and 8 PM is whatever it is, 9 plus 5. 2 AM in the morning. Right, I understand where we are now. How come this isn't resetting the camera? I think my game's glitched out. You know something? Because I can't reset the camera. Right, wait a minute. There's something funny going on here. I can't reset the camera. Let's try it again. If we can get in. No, I'm still stuck in the same position. You see how we're bugged here? I think I'm going to have to restart the game. Yeah, I'm definitely bugged. There's my donut showing, but I can't press Control and U and get the camera to reset. No, it's not working. Right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I am going to restart VP4 because I don't want this going funny when this match starts. So I'll be back. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Do not go anywhere. I'm just going to do a quick reboot, a restart of VP4. So just hold the line and I'll be back. If I can remember how to bloody quit VP4, that is. Wait a sec. Right, I will see you in a minute. Right, let's see if that's fixed it. Right, we're back in the room. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to zoom out to Popman settings, and then I'm going to hit Control U. There we are. It's all fixed. So the game is definitely the game is definitely buggy. There's weird things happening there. So I could legitimately agree with the fact that you couldn't choose 9-ball, or you couldn't choose whatever it was you were trying to choose, because I had an issue there, and I've got loads of witnesses. So anyway, Shooters Pool Pro 2-1 up. That is just going to hold the line, I think. Well, as I was saying earlier on, semi-pro, I don't want to stuff things and mix it up a bit, but you know, the speculation was that this Shooters Pool Pro guy was semi-pro, and I says, well, there's even more reason to think it might be semi-pro, because he's now going to have a laptop, and he's going to have a new desktop PC, so he can genuinely sign in on his laptop and sign in his desktop and have them sitting side by side one another and play himself in a tournament. For future reference. There you go. If that doesn't stuff things up, I don't know what will. Anyway, to cut a long story short, fantastic Mr. Fox has got on his high horse again, and he's not very impressed with Shooters Pool Pro for whatever reason. He wouldn't say what it was in the lobby, and Zwiley agreed with him, so make of it what you can about that. Oh, I was first to say it wasn't you. There you go. But then I was also first to say that now you're going to have 2 computers unless you sell your laptop. It's easy to watch stream while playing game. Players often do it. Well, Simax, as I said, you know, he's so used to getting decent handicaps on Friday night 9-ball, but that's going to run loose. And he's now having to actually try and pop balls. And now he needs to get lucky, and I don't think he has. Well, is HAZAD still in the stream? And is Larry still in the stream? If you are, good luck, both of yous. And Shooters Pool Pro, the only difficulty here is getting good in the 9. And this is a little tester, but it's for 4-1. And then it goes. That looks a straight rack. And Shooter Pool Pro breaking from the sort of, what I would say is the sort of optimum position there, rather than going too close to the rail. but even that brings up a dry break. Now Simax hooked behind the 3, playing the push out. Well, he's going to be put straight back in here because he's left him hooked, so Simax is going to have to deal with his own problem. And that was not a bad effort at the kick out, or the kick safe. So we are about a minute away from our main event of the evening. Let's just get to the bracket. In fact, where the hell is it? Hang on a minute. Wrong bloody page. Home. Well, this internal browser is supposed to move quicker there. It's going a bit better now. And that's Saturday. What am I doing? There we go. That's the match that's just about to start. HAZAD against Larry. Meanwhile, in this match, Shooters Pool Pro is looking already if he's going to run away with it. But no sooner has the commentator said that than the curse has worked again. And Simax, I'm doing everything I can to help you. The old voodoo has worked. Can you make the most of it? Oh, cue ball needs to miss the 6 or kiss it nice, and it's done neither. There's a slightly blind pot on this 6, but he's got to get up the table for the 7. Okay, he's miles away from it, but it's perfect to just come across with not too much power and leave the shot in the 9. We'll see this and then we'll head out. And, well, we ain't going to see it because we've seen enough of that. Right, so HAZAD and Larry, the room is up. They're already underway in this race to 19. And this is where we're staying for the rest of the night, because everything else will be done before this one is done. And it's Larry with first shout. Is that going to get there? Not quite. So Larry's chance in this first rack has come and gone with that effort, and this reverse bank, because it's slightly reverse. He's only going to get one go at this. This is all your eggs in one basket, this 2 ball. Oh no, he's not. It's managed to find the gap past the 3. Well, that's a bonus and a half. That was going to squeeze past the 3. There was little or no room there, but there was just enough. Well, this is where HAZAD has to capitalise on that. Got to take advantage of that one. And now, of course, the big decision. Are you going to try and do something daft to come down behind this 7? Or are you going to try and get into the heart of the table and line up this 7 and 8 ball? If you're sitting there, there isn't a problem. If you're here or here, or down here is going to be a bigger problem at distance. And I think he's a bit straight. There is enough angle just to run around. Now you see he's just gone the wrong side. So you have to have every faith in the line that you're potting that 7 just to get it onto the 8. Well, I suppose he's left nothing on. Is that 7 going to cut? I think it is. Or is it? I think I need a bit more convincing at that angle that that's going to cut. Larry can run for cover and bank it back to the rail here. That's what he's doing. And that's a good shot. And of course it's good because HAZAD can hit the 7, but he can only push it towards the corner pocket. And that's where the danger lies here. Now, he could try another shot and try and get a kick on it, but you see he's got to get covered behind the 8. And he has done. You've got to be thinking in your feet there, because you're just pushing it towards the pocket's fine, but you've got to use what's there to your benefit, and he's got the cover. There's not enough there to see the 7 to pot it. Is he looking for a double kiss here? Is he trying for a double kiss, or is he trying to punch this and stay? I mean, he's got to try and avoid a double kiss if he's going to try and punch it up the table, and he has done. And that brush on the 9. Oh, it's sent the 7 pretty close to the rail. It's off the rail, but HAZAD has only got one option, and look at where the 9 is. This is all or nothing. Can he see the 7 to cut it? I think he can. I know, maybe not. Or maybe he can. Yes, he can. So, HAZAD, well, looking good to get the first rack in the board. And it's going to be his rack. No ice 7. What's miasma talking about? Because I'm totally bewildered. What language is that? Good evening. Well, as I've said before, when you come up against players like Larry and you're not favourite to win the match, the first thing you have to do is get a good start. And the other thing is that whenever you do get chances, you have to take them and make the most of them. You can't be putting in too many unforced errors. Oh, nice. I've got that's more like Irish though, you see. Where they would say nice. Well, it's very nice. No, I think Australians would say that's bonza. That's bonza, mate. I don't think they'd say, no, that's nice, mate. That's a ripper, mate. That's what they would say. Well, you've seen Dad's Army semi-pro. As Captain Mannering would say to Corporal Jones, I think you're getting into the realms of fantasy there, Jones, with 19-0. Adam Gilchrist. Who the hell's that? Who are these strange people? Oh dear. Well, that's the mistakes we're talking about. Maybe a wee bit more time in the shot, and it's going to give Larry a free go to square the match. Oh, well, I'm not. I mean, Gilchrist rings a bell that it might be a cricketer, an Aussie cricketer. See, I'm trying to multitask here. And you know how us guys have trouble multitasking. I'm trying to look at a match and read the chat at the same time, and that's very difficult. And again, bearing in mind what time of night it is, my brain's in shutdown mode. Well, Larry's going to have to go up and down. Well, he's got the first part, he's got the second part, and he's got his rack on the board, and we're all square, barring a disaster. That rack's tilted slightly to the left, just a fraction, I think. Where's the 4 ball going? It's spinning in. 1 ball is on. Now remember, well, there's 2 goals here for Larry tonight. To win the match, which is first and foremost, no matter how he does it, that's the one thing he wants to do. But in terms of the $1,000 V bonus, he wants to get himself as close to, if not joint top with Cobra by the end of this match. And here's his first good chance to do that in rack number 3. Well, this again is about the bounce off that top rail as we look at it, the one at the top, and then back out into the table for the 5. He's not going to try and do this dead weight in just one rail. He's going to have to go the 2 rails because it gives him the best option at having a line for a shot here in the 5. Well, he's overhit that by quite a margin, and this is definitely a bedhead cut. And this is what puts pressure on when you don't get as good a shape. It's not often that YouTube's better than Twitch for the signal going to it. That's a good recovery shot, but once again Larry's got himself dead straight here. He's going to have to punch this in and get a bit of action in the cue ball. Good evening, Albie. And that's the best he can do out of that. He's got a bit of spin on it to trying to get it to force it up to the right. But it's a tester, this one. Well, this is another one where he's either got to leave the bank up and down the table or get loads of action in this cue ball and get it running big time, because there's no way that he can hold this for the 9. He's got to get this running and avoid the pockets. This will be a good shot. Well, he's putting a load of inside on it. He's trying to check it and come across 2 rails from the cut on this 8. Well, he's trying to baby it in, and that is actually very well played. It is not easy to get that shot executed, and he's done very well. And he's got the rack on the board, so that goes to his total. Larry's break has come up dry. Now, HAZAD has a shot in the 1, the 2 goes, and so the first shot is crucial here because there's a good opportunity for HAZAD to run this table. It's chances like this that you have to pinch. And it also sends a message to Larry that, you know, HAZAD is here and meaning business if he gets half a chance. And this table it could be worse, shall we say. Everything is on. And, well, ideally he wants to get fairly straight on this 4 so that he's not messing with the 5. He wants to be able to just drop down onto the 5. So it's all about the line, and he's overhit it. He's overhit it by a mile. And now, I mean, on that shot with all that room, that's a poor shot. You know, all he had to do was just get to here. So now he's leaving himself the same old thing. When you start getting out of shape with one shot, you're out of shape in the next and things start running loose. And he's got a lucky little kiss off the 7. And now it's all about coming back up the table for this 7. Oh, well, it's the same old, same old. Again, HAZAD trying to put stuff on the cue ball to get up for the 7. But it all came about, you know, don't forget where the problem started. The problem started on the position to get to the 5. And that's where it all went wrong. And that's how easy it is to get yourself out of line and force the error. And now Larry, well, is just going to administer the punishment in due course. But shots and things like that from HAZAD, they have to be cut out immediately. And it was just it was not a difficult positional shot. He just got too much juice in it, and then from there it was downhill. And that's going to be finishing nice on the 9, and all of a sudden Larry's got that little glimpse of daylight between him and HAZAD, and now this is where the pressure starts to build even this early in the match, because HAZAD now is got to be aware of these errors, got to kill them, take them out the game and be consistent. So Larry has the 2 ball in a break, no shot, just looking for what's the best safety here. And the problem is getting away from the 1 ball because he's so close to it. I mean, he can obviously play the push out, and a push out down, you know, to here wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad at all. Somewhere down in the bottom rail like that. Well, he's gonna leave HAZAD a full sight on the 1 ball. HAZAD has a safety shot here where it's a thin edge of the 1, get a bit of spin on it, get that cue ball down to here, send the 1 that way. And he's gone all out for a reverse bank that I don't honestly think was really on. And immediately again he's given Larry a free go. So we're talking about making the right shot choice here for HAZAD. He should have played the safety, he should have tucked it away and got distance, and already he's taken on shots there that you know, you're trying to be a hero early on in the match to win a rack when you don't need to be. And if he'd played the decent safety there, he still had the chance to get it back to within one. But Larry's made a hell of a mistake there. And these are the things you've got to take out. No ifs, no buts, no doubts, and no mistakes. You've been given a gift, have a go at it. And even that one, he's overhit it. He's overhit it because it just means the cue ball has to do more. And you know, when you start having to work the cue ball more and let it run more, it's very easy to run into trouble. The pace looks not too bad. He's going to have to take it long. And he's going to again have to get some dig in the cue ball. I'll have a quick drink again. And he's overhit that one again. The touch is just too heavy. It needs to be a lot more finer and subtle. And I'll tell you where he's going wrong there. In those two shots, that one there is another example. He's digging too deep in the cue ball. He needs to just hit it a wee bit firmer and just half a tip, and he'll still get some action, but not as severe. And that's HAZAD's chance gone. You know, when you've had that second go there from Larry's miss and you blow it, it just makes the pain all the more to watch Larry getting his second chance and running out the table. And this is a bad rack for HAZAD to lose. And again, all from just getting out of line by, again, a poorly controlled shot for position, leaving himself too awkward on it. And the miss comes, and then he's now 4-1 down. And a couple of balls in the break for Larry. This looks far too narrow, but he'll still have a go at it. Just to drop it in, and then a 2-9 combo for a quick rack. So this is all or nothing here. I don't know whether he can play it softly enough to hold. I think that's what he'll be trying. Yep, he's got it, and this is not a dead set, but no doubt he'll be going for it. That was too difficult to read. But once again, it is a chance. You know, Larry's had two misses, one in the last rack, he's had one in this rack, albeit a difficult one. And these are chances that HAZAD are being given. He's got to make the most of them, and it's not a pretty table, bear in mind where the 5 ball's sitting, so he's going to nudge this off the 8 or play it long and try and nudge the 5 in off the 8. That would be the sensible shot. Got to cut the 4 and then punch that 5 into the 8 for it to go into the hole. It's a bit delicate to try and drop it in dead weight. If he was here, it'd be a lot easier to play. But it's gone in. So now it's all about just drawing back to the rail and rolling this 8 ball in. Well, he's letting the cue ball run again. And again, not the sensible way to play it, it has to be said. He should have just come back across the rail You don't want to let that cue ball run any more than it necessarily has to. And good evening to Alan Dolan and anybody else who's joined us. But a very important rack to finally start reducing that deficit early on. So, ball in the break, 3 ball, shot in the 1, no shot in the 2, good safety is what we're looking for. Again, trying to create miracles. So this should be tucked away somewhere. And if he misses a 9, and he hasn't done, well, at least it's awkward. This is a bit fiddly, this 2 ball, because to get the cue ball to do anything you have to put a bit of punch into it. Now the simple thing to do would be to send it back across the table. It would be to bank it like that, something like that, and just try and keep the cue ball down here, or do that, which is not bad either. Oh dear, the unit started. What time is it? What's the time? It's about 25 past 8. Well, Larry is pretty much nailed to the rail here. And I don't know whether Larry's still awake or whether he's lost connection. No, he's digging out the jump stick. He's got the jump. But once again, it's not safe. So HAZAD does have a chance. And again, the problem's the distance, the amount of the cue ball that you can see, and well, the only real benefit here is the fact that the 4 ball is very adjacent to the 2, so the cue ball doesn't have to travel far, and that was well played. Now the problems is, again, anything but straight on this 6. You know, the 5 isn't a problem, but he's going to have to. Now he's already missed 2 shots, remember. He's missed 2 shots where he's having to punch the object ball in to get the cue ball to run, and he's going to have to run big time to get on this 7, or at least get to there to be able to cut the 7. And if you look at the angle he's got the angle there on this 6 to punch it in with a bit of right spin and get over here. Whether he wants to be too aggressive, well, he's going to leave it the high cut. So now it's got to be up and down, unless he thinks he can again gently pot this. I wouldn't have the confidence to do anything like that. I would have to hit it, and as long as you avoid the 9, you should be coming back down the table. So this is an important visit here for HAZAD. Now, how's his luck? That needs to bounce, and it looks good. Well, it's still going to be a testy one though. It's gone square. Now, if you just play it plain ball, if you look at if you look at the tangent line off the 8, you're going sort of that way. Well, he's stunned it, which he'll do, but is he gone far enough? I think he has done. So this to get back within 1. Oh dear. Well, I'm afraid that's another one that's got away. And again, just not getting the line on the pot to make it simpler, and then the nerves kick in. You know, that little voice that's working away in the back of your mind, giving you doubts on that shot, and the inevitable's going to happen. And from staring back to within 1, he's now trailing by 3, and it just becomes harder and harder to stay in the match. Well, we've got a fair few watching that's come into the chat. Cheeky Chico's arrived. Good evening and welcome. And, well, if Larry's brake starts working, then there should be major concern for HAZAD's chances of staying in this match. And he's got to do an awful lot of work should he get that chance. He's certainly going to have a chance. How good it's going to be, I don't know, because Larry's going to look to run and hide here. And HAZAD will get that chance. That hasn't worked out, because I think Larry was trying to sneak behind the 6 there, but he's actually hit the 6 pretty much at the same time, just coming off the 4, so there is a chance. Now let's look at this angle. Well, he could maybe run into the 8 here, or no, when you look at it from that angle, he can run forward. But is he going to have a shot in the 5 if he just runs forward? He's played the stunt. He's played it well. He's getting certain shots right, and then failing when it comes to getting that positional shot. When he's offline and he's having to play that good positional shot, that's where he's losing it. You know, he could have made that 9 ball a lot easier in that last rack. And it's those little things, when they're creeping into your match, you're losing racks because of them. You know, again with this one, he just wants to roll through so that he's staring down the barrel on this 9 like that, and take any doubt out of the fact that you're going to pot the ball. So that's rescued one of them. And now we need a ball and a shot. If we're in HAZAD's corner and he's got a ball, and if those 2 and 6 get out of the way, he would have had a shot. Now, how is it looking? He's still got a shot. Now the problem is how to try and deal with the 2. It doesn't go past the 4. It doesn't go past the 7. But it goes into this middle pocket. He's trying to get around the angles. Once again, it's not a bad shot. Well, that almost... Don't tell me he's actually hooked himself, has he? He's actually digging out the jump stick. Does he need to dig out the jump stick? Yes, I think he does. Well, that again, that's another poor shot. And now, as we see time and time again, when you go out of line, that is it. He's now hooked on the 5. Well, this is an ambitious long jump escape for HAZAD. He just needs to get lucky, and he hasn't got the jump read at all. And it's a free go for Larry. But another one where HAZAD has gone out of line with the position, and that's what's letting him down. And there's the result through from that one lost side match. Shooters Pool Pro has won 2 matches tonight. And that's his second one, and he's won by 13 racks to 5. But when it comes to stringing 3 and 4 balls together, HAZAD can do it, but he got to get that positional play tighter. But it's only going to come about by getting better on each ball. And this is where he's failed so far. It's still only 5-3. You know, it's not a disaster. But it's about to be 6-3 though. So he's basically got to tighten up and keep better control of that cue ball. And that'll allow him better opportunities to get the job done when he gets that chance. Well, Larry's had 1 rack run. I don't think he's had many more though, so far. He's certainly got a good opportunity here if he can see that 1 ball, because he's a broke perfectly, and he's going to have to go forward and find the gap, and the gap is there that way. Within that area would be the gap. He doesn't really want to be coming down to here if he can help it, but the gap is there. Let's see if he can find it. Oh, he's totally sent that cue ball offline. He's got the gap, but he's missed the 1, and he's got away with it. I had corned beef hash for my dinner, but I had it at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I am bloody starving right now. I'm going to have to deal with that situation once this match is finished. No, I think a lot of these big pro players in the States, they make a living obviously from what they can get in the tournaments, but more of their income is made from gambling. Steve would probably tell you that. You heard what Steve said in that live stream we did the other day. You know, you've got guys at that Derby City Classic where they're playing for tens of thousands of dollars in matches. So that's where they can make a living, and it's also where you can go bankrupt pretty quickly if you don't win very many games. And HAZAD, again, the chance has gone. A poor 1 on the 1. Well, that's a poor one from Larry, because this is where my argument goes with this mouse again. Trying to play the little delicate shots like that, he's just played a duff shot there. And it's given HAZAD another chance, and oh, this is going to fall. This is going to fall awkward. He's going to now be in two minds of what he tries here. I don't think he's got much of an option though. He's got to play the cut, and that's got to go in. If he can get the two ball flush to the rail, he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be hitting that 9 where he punches it like that. That was the only way it was ever going to go wrong. He had to get that nice and thin to just chip it right directly onto the 9. If he hit it off line, it was just going to keep up. And it's now a gift for Larry. And these are all sore. Well, he never gave us enough time to actually show you, but where that 9 ball was just before the knuckle, and the 2 ball was just off the rail, and he had to send the 2 flush. What he did was punch it into the rail first, and it then clipped the 9, which was always going to keep the 9 up. And again, did he spend an awful lot of time looking at it and lining it up? I don't know. But it doesn't matter now. It's Larry with a 7-3 lead. So now HAZAD has got all the hard work to do. He's got a table at his mercy, and for a 2,200 player, this table has to be ran. But he's got that pressure now, and it's not in the back of his mind. It's very up front, this pressure of having to produce the goods. And that was a bit of a sort of chicken out shot. I mean, you've got to go through with the shot and play it right. And that was very nervy. And there's nothing worse than having a table at your mercy where you need one good shot to get it under full control. You fail on it, and then you've got somebody like Larry following you, and Larry's just going to show you how it's done. As long as he gets this 4 ball, that is. Well, this is another. I think he could have maybe checked that a bit more to give him a better line in this 6 ball. He's just going to have to leave the 7 as a cut, and probably, well, he could end up taking 8 into the same pocket, or end up in the middle, just depending on the pace he was going to play it at. And this is another little delicate one. He's on the 9, no problem. It's just about dropping it in. Well, HAZAD is shooting himself in the foot here with the chances he's had. And, you know, 3 or 4 of these racks that Larry's got, they really should have been HAZAD's. No doubt about it. And now it's getting painful. It's 8-3. And again, if HAZAD is sitting there waiting and Larry capitulating and giving him all these gifts, it might not happen, but he's got one here. Although, having said that, he's going to be hard pushed to pot the 3 ball, and he's going to maybe have to do that. Well, this is really difficult to judge what's right and wrong to do here. I mean, if he plays the 1 on to the 8, he's going to pot the 3. How is he going to still have a shot in the 1? And he would only play that if he's trying to run out from this position, and this could not be much worse. I mean, what do you do in this situation? He's had a pop and a bang and a hope that he gets lucky, and he hasn't got it. I think it might have been wiser to try and get Larry set up for 3 fouls there. because the balls are sitting nice to get decent cover. And now Larry can do the thin cut in the one, run around the table, come right down the bottom end, and at least have a shot into the middle, if not the top pocket. Has he hit that enough? Is he going to get there? Well, he might have just got there. And now can he avoid the 6 and get a run down to this 4? Well, he's managed that, but he's now knocked to 5 in the line. Now this is the same as what HAZAD had with the 9. The 9 was on the rail virtually just off the point, and the 5 ball had to be hit flush, even though it was off the rail. Well, Larry's got the same problem. If he punches into that 5, it's going to come off the rail and not go in. You see, like that, it's so difficult to play, and the 5's always going to end up coming off the rail. And that happened exactly the same as what HAZAD did on that 9 ball in those previous racks. Well, now HAZAD at the table, and not an easy one to get good in this 6. And of course the other problem is getting the 7 and the 8 being locked up in the 9, so it's not exactly inviting. Well, he's going to get a nudge here, and I don't think he can see the 6 to pot it. No, he can't. Well, good luck with this. And that's ended up a double kiss, and that's another disaster. And the 7 now goes past the 8 into the middle. And things are going from bad to worse here for HAZAD. You see, right at the moment, Larry's under no pressure whatsoever. Absolutely none. And everything that's happened to HAZAD has all been self-inflicted. Poor positional shots that are breaking down the run at the table. I think every time that he's had a chance, there's been always one shot that's got him going wrong, and then from there it just goes from bad to worse. And this is a testy one for Larry though. And that's the best he could get out of that shot. Playing the blind pocket pot on the 8, but he's got enough room off the rail to miss this middle pocket knuckle and get this 9 ball in for a 9-3 lead. Oh, he's got it. Right on line. Well, already this is a tall order for HAZAD to come through this match. It's a 6 rack deficit, and it's got to be capitulation from Larry that's going to allow HAZAD back into this match. But even if Larry does give HAZAD chances, and he probably still will get chances, is HAZAD going to be good enough to actually take them? He hasn't been so far. Let's be frank. He has not been good. The nerves are showing. That little bit of spin, that's an excellent one from Larry. Okay, it's crept out behind the 9, but It's still an excellent shot. And this has got HAZAD in serious trouble here because he can't get to the one. And the balls are sitting pretty good. He could just catch an edge of it. Well, commentators cursed that time. He's cursed himself because HAZAD's got the hit in the one and he's got it safe. Well, Larry's got the kick and HAZAD has a chance now. This has got to be full-blooded. It's got to be 100% with confidence, this shot, because you've got to go forward and you've got to get down and miss traffic to have a shot in that too, and that's well played. Now, again, let's hope for HAZAD's sake this is not going to be an example of how to go wrong when you're trying to run out. Now again, you play the percentage shot, you pot that 3 and you get over here somewhere to see the 4. Well, he's coming down and letting the cue ball run, and the major failing is that shot there. Again, you've got to play the sensible shot. You've got a pot there where you can get over here and see the 4. He started running the cue ball and he deserves all he gets with that one, I'm afraid. You've got to play the sensible shot, and that was not it. His idea was to get the bottom side of the 4 to do what Larry's just done, but he wasn't looking at the position he was playing from. It was so easy just to go over to the right side, play the 4 long, and that way you're not letting the cue ball run far and you're not putting yourself at risk of scratching. And again, it's all gone pear-shaped for HAZAD. And so Larry is on double figures. I don't think this is making a great contribution for Larry to make inroads into this this top 10 on the Racks Ran leaderboard, because it's not been free flowing for Larry either. And Larry's had a couple of matches like this since he had his good start in the tournament. They've been sort of disjointed, where he's not getting a good rhythm, but the break's not been working great either. Here's another one where the 4 ball's locked up. He's potted the 8 in the break, shot in the 1, shot in the 2, and then the problem ball's the 4. No, he needs to get a hit on that, and he's certainly not going to do that from where he's sat right now. He's got to try and keep that cue ball in good touch to have any half a shot in this 3 ball. And it's going to be, again, with this you probably have to take your medicine and just leave the bank on the 4, or at least go for a safety. But that 3 ball I think is pretty tight. Yep, it was difficult, and he did try and break them out, and once again he's got away with it. And this is only ever going to go wrong here if HAZAD just scratches this bottom corner pocket. Well, he's not got the weight on it to do that, but he's going to leave Larry the cut, and Larry once again will have a go at this. It's going to be a good shot to get a break out here, but he'll have a go. Then again, he only had enough room to make the cut, but he can just nudge that 4 that way and nudge the 4 in behind the 6 if he wants. I don't see a problem with it. I don't know why he's not looking at that. That looks far easier to me. And he's left it hooked, but he's given HAZAD a chance to kick this in if he can just get it before the point. It's not difficult to hit, and if he gets it lucky, he could kick this in. And it almost went. But that may well be HAZAD's chance gone again. But look at the 6 ball though. The 6 ball is not good anywhere near that middle pocket close to the rail. It's just not in a good place. And it might be the only lifeline that HAZAD has got. This 4 ball is tight as well though. And Larry's in no man's land now. Now what does he do? You know, the 6 ball's well off the rail. And you can certainly pot it from that end because there's room off the knuckle. And Larry's just looking to hide a cue ball. And he's played a good one. And, well, HAZAD is still going to try the jump cue here. It's pretty close. But, or is he? Is he having doubts about it? Well, it is tight. And he's just got to get it perfect to get the hit, get the legal shot without the foul. And he hasn't got the technique perfected in the jumps. I would have done the same thing there. I would have ended up doing exactly what he did there, because I never practiced jumps. But Larry, and it looks as if he's. Is he trying to just draw in behind or get good? Well, again, Larry's taking his eye off the ball. And here's a second bite at the cherry. Unexpected from HAZAD. But he's got a really tough one to get out of this corner pocket. This is horrible. And this is, well, I don't know whether he can risk playing the cross bank and whether it would actually work. I mean, he's looking at a thin cut here down the rail, and he's punched it into the rail. Now he just has to hope he leaves it reasonably safe. And that is going in, well, again, it's not line perfect. Larry's going to have to pick his line to play the bank. And that's what he's, well, I presume that's what he's doing. He doesn't look as if he's trying to cut this. He's playing the bank. And he's misjudged it. But is he going to get cover? No, he isn't. And it's a third go in this rack for HAZAD. And if you're going to get it, you've got to go 100% all out for the 6 to get good in this 7. And this is another little blind cut. Just see it, and as you see it, play it. And so, that is a big get out of jail there for HAZAD. To get that many chances to win a rack. And I think Larry's been more than generous this time. So it's back to 6, 10-4 to Larry. HAZAD wanting a ball and a shot. And the 2 ball thought about it and then gave up the ghost. And what's more, Larry's now sitting simple shot in the 1, but has to just run the cue ball anywhere up the top end of the table. I don't believe he's going to try and leave a gap here. I would think it's just run down and back up to at least see the 2. And that 6 ball's going to come into play here. He hasn't got enough into it. And that 2 ball is just out by the knuckle, and I think he can chip it in. I think if he actually just aims to there, he's not, I don't think he's happy with it. He's looking at kicking it up and down in the gap between the 5 and the 8. But I think he can get around the 6, but he's played that well. But you always never guarantee you're going to be anywhere near decent on the next ball though. You just have to ride your luck, but that's better than nothing. HAZAD's, sorry, no HAZAD, Larry's taking his time, and again, that was the problem, running into the 4, but I don't think it's dead. I think he's got the cut. Now, ideally would maybe want to run into the 9 here just to stop the cue ball squirting away somewhere. Well, he's missed the 9, and he's missed it far enough that he can get up and have a half decent shot in the 5. Of course, running into the 9, you're just again relying on luck that you're going to be on the 5. Avoiding it was the best thing if he could, and he did that. Now, what was the predictions for the score at the beginning of this? Who came out with a prediction? Because it's certainly looking grim for HAZAD now. Really grim. Larry was always going to be the favourite, and as I said, you know, HAZAD, well, lo and behold, commentator's curse has done it again for HAZAD. Larry's done this a newbie shot by letting the cue ball run through and the line into the middle pocket, and there is a gift on a plate for HAZAD. And I've jinxed Larry on that one. Another straight rack by the look of it. Can HAZAD get a ball? And he's got the 1. And look at the 9. Well, the 9 ball makes the middle pocket a big pocket. That's the main benefit of where it is. But well, it's got to be the 5 in past the 9. You know, you pot the 3, it's more than obvious. You pot the 3, you pot the 4, and you pot the 5 in off the 9. And if you get it right, you may well pot the 9 down the rail. So this is where, and again, he's made a complete arse of that shot. Has he? No, I think he's okay, but this is, look for the 9 going in if he plays this right. You know, he's got to play the 5 off the 9. He can't play the 5 flush into the pocket. He's got to play it onto the 9. And he might get lucky and get the 9 down the rail. So that's a shot to play for. So he aims the 5 directly onto the edge of that 9. The 5's going to go in. But is he going to get the bonus? And again, HAZAD hasn't looked at it. And now he's got to deliver, I'm afraid. And that 8 ball is tight in the bottom rail. And that means that he's got to get his work cut out here to get good on this 8 ball so he can get up the table. This 8 ball is frozen. And did you look at that before he played that 5 ball? And again, is that the right choice? And he's missed the 7. And it's all gone tits up, as they say. And it all went wrong because he played the wrong shot. He should have played the 5 onto the 9 and given himself that chance of the 9 going in. He would have always had a shot in the 6. And, well, if it can go wrong, it can go wrong big time. And the problem for Larry is he's dead straight in the 8 and he's looking up and down because maybe all he has is the kick in this 9. Larry might just take his medicine and play for the kick in the 9. I don't know whether he's going to try and juice this up and get anything out of it. He's absolutely plumb straight and he's done the sensible thing. So the line is there. And maybe like that, where he's just going to brush the 9. And that's where it's gone wrong. But it's gone across the table now. There is the most painful shot to witness tonight for HAZAD. And Larry is shamefaced with that shot. He's missed the line and he's, believe it or not, managed to bank the 9 across the table. Oh dear. Well, you've got to laugh, haven't you? I mean, else you would just cry. But that is a sore one. I mean, oh, again, retracing the steps, HAZAD had to hit that 5 off the 9 in my book, because I've seen 9s go in like that loads of times, where you use it as the big pocket, but the 9 goes down the rail and goes in as a bonus, and he never played it, and then it all went wrong again, and then that is a sucker punch, that attempted kick from Larry and the 9 rolling across the table. That is really, really sore. Who's the mod swear Potman? Who's the mods in Twitch? I don't know whether... well, the mods in Twitch will know who they are if they're actually any on tonight. I can't remember. Semi-Pro was one, but I don't know whether he's one on YouTube. Larry's one, but he's actually in a match. Bedhead was one, and I don't know whether he's gone to bed. So I haven't a clue is the answer to that. Oh, Miasma's one as well. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, what's the problem, Potman? Right, see you later, LS3. Lost Soldier 3. Stop checking my messages, please. It's very annoying. How do you mean by checking your messages? I need a drink. It asked me to allow her to deny Potman this. What? Well, Larry is going to have to play a nice little delicate shot here when he gets on this 6 to drop over this set, or leave the cue ball and leave a kick on the 7, on the 8 to combo it. But he's, see, I don't think he's going to have to force this. He's going to have to force this a fair bit. He's a bit too straight in this 6 ball to try and go over here, but he might leave the kick. We'll see what he decides. Well, that's a bit strange for me, because I don't know what he tried there. He's just looking to get distance and play it safe, which I suppose in one sense is not a bad thing to do. Well, he's played the combo along the rail and he's got the hit. Where's the cue ball? The cue ball's okay. He's managed to get the edge, get the combo, because it was set. Why is Potman under some sort of restriction then? Right, just give me a second to bring up Twitch. No, in fact, see, to be honest with you, it'll take me too long to look at Twitch to see what I have to do for Potman when he's on Twitch. If you watch the matches on Twitch all the time, Potman, oh, I've got a good idea. Hang on a minute. Just give me 2 minutes. No, I've now realised that's a bad idea. I'll tell you why. Because I cleaned out my cookies earlier on, and if I go to Twitch right now, it means I have to log back in, and they've got this 2-tier security system now where because I'm logged out of Twitch, it'll send me a 4-digit number to log back in, so sod that, I'm not doing it this time of night. But I'll take care of the chat thing for Potman if I remember to do it. I'll go in and do it. Anyway, back to the match. Well, Larry's well out in front. It's a long, long road for HAZAD to have any chance of surviving on this winner's side now. Well, I don't know why Potman's been selected for all this stuff. I've certainly done nothing. Well, that is a good shot. But once again, he's played the good shot to get there, to get ideally on this 4. And now all he has to do is to get past the middle pocket and out in the table. And see, he's left it short, so he's further away. And it just means the further you are away from the object ball, the more difficult it is in controlling things to get good in the next ball. And this shot here, just a simple roll through, and roll through far enough so that you're going off the rail and you're this side of the 8, so you're dropping down for the 9. And that's all you have to do, is get through far enough on that 8. We see now he's overdone it. That should have been played into the middle. And now he's got the line on it where he's just running through again. But it should have been played into the middle pocket to drop down. But it's one back. All right, I think it's to do with the what do you call it? The moderation of certain words. Right, well I think maybe I need to go in and uncheck something or whatever. I think that's what it is, because that's annoying that you have to piss about with that every time. I'll look at that and get it fixed. I don't know whether I did something to but I think that other idiot was on YouTube anyway, but it's been a while since I've been in Twitch and messed about with the moderation thing, but I'll go in and check something or uncheck something that'll stop it all. Because that would annoy me as well if that was happening. Meanwhile, HAZAD has got a ball, but look where he's ended up. Absolutely no shot. And looking to push out. Now, is it going to be a wise push out? Because to me the push out is just somewhere over by the top rail, just to leave nothing easy on and give Larry a choice to push it back. I'll tell you what I'll do, guys. Right at the end of this match, once we've had a look at the stats and all of that stuff, I'll go straight into Twitch and have a good dig into it, because you've got to dig into all the settings in Twitch to find the damn thing. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll find it. There will be a way of finding it one way or another, and that will take care of it, because it's a bit frustrating. Well, it's frustrating that my asthma keeps getting crap coming up and Potman keeps getting crap coming up, so we'll take care of it one way or another. Well, that link doesn't work for me because I can't click it. That chat appearing in my window is only for my benefit, so that I can see what all you guys are saying. No links or anything like that work. I mean, I can't do this. I can't do this with my little Q stick in the game and click anything. It does nothing. But like I say, when I finish, I'm going to have to get a 4-digit code sent out by Twitch, log in, and then go right deep into the settings and the bowels of Twitch to find out where this moderation thing is, because I cannot remember where it is, but I can guarantee I'll find it. Meanwhile, HAZAD again has got himself locked out, and he's going to have to jump now. He's going to have to hit this half ball. He can't jump this flush and hit it flush. He has to hit it half ball like that to make sure the cue ball stays out of the pocket. And now this one is just pocket weight and let that cue ball come off the bottom rail. Now he's spending too much time looking at angles here for my liking. You know, he's played the game long enough to look at that 4 ball and pot it. He's spending far too much time looking at the angle. You know, it's instinctive when you've played the game as long as he has. You look at the shot and you play it. The more you start looking at it and doubting it, the more likely you are to make a hash of it. Now this again, he's going to have to leave it squarish. That'll do. He can just draw off it. And nothing to do but pot the 8 as long as he has an angle and he can get out for that 9. And he's going to leave himself dead straight. Well, if there's ever a way to make your life bloody difficult, HAZAD's doing everything in his power to do it. Because look what he's left himself now. I mean, he deserves a good slap around the back of the head for that. Because all he had to do is leave himself half an angle to get nicely across for this 9, and now he's got the pressure of this one. And he's got it in, but my goodness me, is he making his life difficult? Well, and another, what looks straight to me, and no, the 3 balls get in, another ball's get in, and if that 2 ball stays out of the way, he's got a shot in the 1. Now this one, you take your medicine and all you do is roll the 1 in and go long, because you want to roll the 2 in to get on the 4, and the 4 goes past the 6. There's nothing to this shot other than pot the 1 and let the cue ball run and not scratch. Now you roll through on the 4 and he's going to be close. I don't think he's alright. He's the right side of the 2. And now this shot, all you do is you pot the 4 and you run through to there, near the 6, and roll the 5 in. Again, it's plain and simple. There is no acrobatics. There's no spectacular shots with the cue ball. We're talking about common sense, playing it simple. Even if he has to run away with a 5, he'll still leave himself in the 6. Now, he should have actually just stunned that rather than running through. You see, now he's got more of a cut on the 5 and he's got more to do with the cue ball. This has been critical, but it's critical that HAZAD should be seen the simpler way to do it than giving himself more work to do. And if this bounce is too heavy, he's going to be locked out behind the 8. Well, he's got there. Now again, taking it easy, just somewhere out into the table off this 8. Or at least leave himself in the table where he can play a shot. And it's just a gentle roll in. I mean, what I'm talking about is watching HAZAD making the most of what he gets when he gets it, now that he's trying to get himself back into the match. So he has to play the sensible shot, and he has to be aware of everything at every time he's at the table now, and not do the stupid shot. Unfortunately, there he's come up dry, and now the worst possible outcome is Larry's got a shot in the 1. He's going to have to maybe. I see he's got too much angle here. I don't know whether he can try and just drop this in, or try and come around the angles and leave the high cut in the 2 from behind the 4, from where we're looking. No, he's trying to hold it. Well, it couldn't be any more awkward than this. But if Larry can get this, get up the table and get on that 3, he should be out. The big test. Well, it was always really difficult there. I think he's got second prize though. And HAZAD should be up here looking at that too. That is tight in the pocket. If he's going to try and use a rail, he could miss this completely. He's got to have a look to see how far it is. He's managed to catch it. And now this is just about getting the 3 in and just hoping that cue ball doesn't squirt too far across to the right. And he's going to be in no man's land. It's gone too far to the right. Now we can see that the 4 goes, but he can't forget about the cue ball, because that cue ball's got to travel. Now, is the angle there? Let me have a look and see if the angle's there for him to come to cut that and come off there and around and out. He's going narrow. He's going to have to slow up big time. But the good news is that the 5 is well off the rail, so he's got plenty of room to get the pace in it and cut it and let the cue ball do its thing. And that will do. That's sensible. But now he cannot leave himself straight on this 7. He has to, really should be drawing off this 6 and getting out into the table, stunning it off the rail one way or another. And he's made a complete hash of that as well. That is so poor from HAZAD. For a 2,200 player to play a shot like that is just really, really bad. And he knows it. He knows it. And just think of how much he could be in this match had he been getting these racks taken care of. He cannot come out of this match, no matter what the result is. He can't come out and say he never had chances. He's had loads of them, he's had bucket loads of them, but bucket loads of them have gone west because he's not been able to get the job done. Is he going to get a second chance in this rack? And the answer to that is yes. Now, he's the wrong side of the 7, so he should take his medicine and pot the 7, cut the 8 and run up and down for the 9. He doesn't want to get heroic here. He could pinch an angle and try and run around. He could then end up running into the 8 and all things go wrong. The sensible shot is pot the 7, kill the cue ball, cut the 8 and let it run down for the 9. That's the way I would play it. Well, HAZAD has actually lost the plot here. That is incredible. I'm glad I've got that in video, because he needs a severe talking to after that. That's the worst shot in the whole tournament that you've just seen there. There he's got the honour of having that. And I defy anybody to tell me they've seen a worse shot than what they've just seen there. There's a shot of a guy who's not thinking. Right? There's a guy of a shot who's not on the ball in the moment, in the fact that he was trailing by what, 4, and had a chance to get back to 3 by playing the sensible shot, leaving the cut in the 7. The cut in the 7 was never going to be difficult. You know, he just had to do that and let the cue ball run up and down for the 9. But that shot he's just played there was really humiliating and embarrassing. And God help him if he watches this rerun. Well, I don't think you'll ever play a shocker as much of that one, Chico, because that was awful. Really, really awful. Oh, goodness me. Well, let's put it this way. We're not going to see a worse shot than that in the tournament. I defy anybody to come up with anything better. There was nothing computing there. There was nothing working there at all. Good evening, Tommy. Oh, I mean, well, at least you're guessing as to what he actually tried to play there, Tommy, because I haven't a clue. I have not got a Scooby as to what was going through HAZAD's mind there. I just wonder whether he's been on the liquid refreshments prior to this match and during this match. Because only somebody that's half out their head would have played that shot. Well, once again, he's at the table. You pot the 5, get yourself down the bottom end of the table. I'll need another drink here. I am getting thirsty. The old throat is struggling to hold out. But now he's completely gone. Well, it's a real struggle now for HAZAD. He's doing everything wrong here. He's not reading the cuts in the 5. He's leaving it for Larry to help himself. And of course, Larry can only just do what's given to him. The balls are there to be potted. He's going to pot them eventually if you give him enough chances. But it's yet another rack. That's another 2 in a row that have gone begging, and they've been gifted to Larry on a plate, shall we say. No point in mincing words and beating around the bush. And Larry's now got a ball in the break, but no real shot. So again, looking for a decent safety, I would suggest. And that will do. He hasn't got cover, but he's left nothing on. Well, I've just read Popman's comment there before it went up. I mean, how right you are, Popman, because HAZAD could have been back within 3, and the match is just, I mean, that's it. His chance is gone now. There's no way he's going to get back into this now, because there's nothing, there's no confidence there. Far too many errors, and we were talking glaring errors after that one that he just played in that other rack there. That was just awful. And well, Larry again can only just do the formalities and carry on with what he's used to doing and just picking them off. But I don't think Larry's really improved his run-out stats that much. He's maybe got 2, 3 at the most in this whole match. I don't think it's a lot more than that, if there is any. Well, good evening, Mal. You're late on the go. Well, you're witnessing a bit of a nightmare here. And it's HAZAD's nightmare. It definitely is. It's went good, bad, indifferent, and bloody awful. That's how you would describe HAZAD's match. I don't think you could put it any nicer than that. At least I don't have the vocabulary to do it. I could put it in some more colourful vocabulary, which I won't. But I think you know where I'm coming from, guys. So Larry said no testing at all in this match, none whatsoever. No questions have been asked of Larry. I mean, Larry was always going to be the favourite, and as I said, and I'll repeat myself again, if HAZAD was going to be competitive, it was all about getting a good start, which he did, and it was about cutting out these errors and taking every chance that he was getting, which he hasn't. He's thrown away chances by the bucket load and capitulated in what seems to be his downfall and the reason why he's heading to the one-loss side. So Larry with a 15 racks to 8 lead, and HAZAD has gone to put some cold water in his face and give himself a good slap and wake himself up to see if he can. Well, HAZAD's goal now is to get to double figures. That would at least give him that decency in the scoreline if he can get to 10. Now let's have a look. While that's going on, let's look at the rack. We can see it's slightly tilted. That the 1 and the 5 are going slightly that way. Well, I'm not going to see it because Larry's away now. I was going to have a look closer at the balls there in that rack. Is what not a German player? I've never heard of him. I've heard him. Is Mike Duchesne not American? Oh no, that's Ocean. Oh, Albinario, aye, right. I read that as Duchesne. That shows you how